He is one of Namibia's leading music producers and DJs, a music executive and events organizer who continues to elevate the country's music scene. From launching tracks to headlining festivals, DJ Dreas has built a brand that resonates both locally and across the continent. From shaping unforgettable live experiences to innovating in music production and distribution, DJ Dreas proves that vision, talent, and hustle can turn sound into a movement. Hello everyone, I'm Esther Kamati and this is Real Spill, where we celebrate the movers and shakers of Namibia's creative industry. Today I'm joined by music producer, DJ, events organizer and music executive DJ Dreas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure. Yeah. So let's start with your upbringing. So I didn't know this, I learned this today. You actually grew up in Oshuarongo.
Yes,
so how was life like growing up in Oshuarongo? Tell us briefly from your childhood what you remember, what stood out.
Okay, so Oshuarongo is a cluster of many tribes and cultures. So you get Bamboo speaking people, Herero speaking people, Damaras, Germans, whites, Afrikaners, so the whole shebang. So it was a place where different cultures met, and growing up there we felt united, like as a community. I don't think anyone from Oshuarongo can say that they grew up in a place that's like segregated in sense of how we do things. So even in that, it taught us how to always have a sense of community. It always taught us how to take care of one another. And I always say, and wherever I go, I always loudly and proudly say I'm from Oshuarongo, because it's really 100% the reason why I am the way I am today.
And like you rightfully put it, it's, you know, different people and obviously different sounds, but the most dominant when it comes to music is your Ovirishes, your Damara Punch, and then comes DJ Dreas with an electronic sort of vibe and feel. So how did you maneuver this transition, and musically, how was that composition for you?
I think, like you put it, there were so many other Namibian focused genres at the time. I think when I started making music, it was not to say by chance, but it was, everything was aligning at that time. At that time, I remember house music was just also making waves around the world, and also the internet. Maybe for Oshuarongo people, the internet was just booming also that time, so a lot of households were getting internet, computers and stuff. So I was also just lucky to be part of the system, or to have parents that cared enough for the development of our brains to have computers. So that's where we got the information. That's where we had access to the programs and the music that shaped our palette, to like the music first. And then obviously now I'm the curious guy that asks these questions to say, okay, how did this guy make this song, or how did this artist make this collaboration? And then that's basically how I also started making music, is guys like Heavy K, guys like Black Coffee. I was curious to find out how did they make it, and if they can make it, why can't I make it? And obviously with the tools that I was given in my upbringing, I was able to make music in that way.
But what is it that made you listen to electronic music and think, I want to create that sound? You know, exposed to all these other genres.
Like I previously said, at the time house music was doing the rounds. So everywhere you were going, there was just house music playing, either Heavy K, either Black Coffee, Uhuru at the time. So it was very easy for us, especially us, the young ones who were in tune with what was happening globally, for us to like something. So you know, when you like something, it's very easy for you to be obsessed about whatever it is that you're either watching, that you're listening to. And for me, it was just that thing of wanting to create the music that I'm listening to or what I like, and what I didn't like, I wanted to supplement and make that. So yeah, that's how I basically went into making electronic dance music, is because I was hearing something that I liked, but I just felt like I could do a little bit.
It was missing something.
Yeah, so I just had to do it myself.
So you had to go in and add a bit of Dreas into it.
100%.
Love it. Okay, so you are popularly known as, you know, a DJ and a music producer as well. What do you think has, you know, carved the lane for you as a music icon, so to say, if I may say that?
That's, I think, too soon. We have a lot to achieve, but thank you. Yeah, I think what carved, or to answer your question, I think it's just my consistency. You know, ever since I started, I do remember a time when I started, we were doing this thing of where we like drop music, like me and my close intermediate like producer friends would drop music on a weekly basis. Obviously that's the start. We were hungry, we just wanted to put our music out there. I remember I even had a YouTube channel. I used to teach, like I used to give tutorials, obviously just without my face, just the software and then my voice in the back. So that, I think, it trickled down into the later stages of my life to say that ever since I started, I was so hungry to get where I wanted to get, and I don't think it ever stopped. And also the nice thing is with music, I think you just keep on getting better and better, and when you get better with time, you also just want to share your craft that you're getting better in, and obviously that comes along with the financial aspect, where you're also getting more bookings and maybe more money from brand deals and stuff. So, and then it's also the lives that you are touching along the way. Then you just get that gratification or validation to say that you're actually doing something good. If someone is taking their time out to DM you and say, hey, you changed my life, or you took me through a difficult period in my life. So it's those little things that also just tell you that, hey, you're doing something good, you're carrying on. Or it could be also just creating jobs for other people, where you host maybe an event, or you have a listening session, and then you have a security guard there, a person at the door, a bar lady, a waiter. These are all jobs, or these are all streams of income that someone may really desperately need, and it's all because of you and your craft. So I think those are the reasons why I've kept on the road, and I've been able to just carve my way, because I know that it's it's bigger than me. So I'm just like the medium, and everything else is running through me, and I just have to keep on going.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So is this YouTube channel still up where we can go and watch? Because we also want to learn now.
No, I believe in a saying that we build to destroy, to build again. So I'm a firm believer of starting something, building it, and then destroying it so that you can build again. I've done that with so many other projects, so many other creative things. Not to say that I like destroying things, it's just I feel like as a creative you shouldn't be scared to start over and just pivot and then go again. So same with that YouTube channel. It was going so good. I think I had 700 subscribers back in 2013. And I'm in Ochiwarongo. I would make like tutorials on how to make different types of beats, hip hop, house, Afro beats at the time, and I think that's where I've made my first $2,000. Not from my parents, not from anything. It was
YouTube?
For YouTube.
Really?
An artist from Portugal reached out. They wanted 10 beats. From a specific tutorial that I made. They wanted 10 beats that sounded like that. Ooh. And then they sent like US dollars. At the time I was in grade 8, 9 there, and imagine.
So you were going international even when you were just coming up.
Yeah, so imagine even explaining that to my mom.
I don't think you understand how big a flex that is.
I remember explaining that to my mom, because I had to go get the money. They sent it via a thing that made it easy for international transfers to be sent. So I had to tell her that, I got 300 USD. And then they were like, what
She
are
was
you
probably
doing?
like, you're getting scammed.
What are you doing, my child, on this internet thing? And I was like, no, I'm making beats, and somebody wanted beats. And then, yeah, so, and it's not only one, so I got another client again from the UK. His name is Andrew. Andrew actually became a friend now in the later stages of my life. So yeah, and then I just stopped. I just said, no, I'm not doing YouTube channel things anymore. I'm just gonna pivot and then start making my own music. Yeah.
Okay, so the vision was bigger. It's not that you don't like the money that was coming in.
I think from there, from young, I knew already that I shouldn't get the money and stuff to my head, because it's not just the money, it's also my, I gained a certain level of popularity also in my community, because Otjoarongo is what, 20,000 people?
Yeah.
It's a very small community, and obviously if you are like a DJ or you are like a cool guy, cool creative guy, then you're gonna get attention, you're gonna get friends.
An entourage.
All those stuff.
Yeah.
So I think my upbringing, I was always a reserved, shy kid. So I never let those things get to me, because I was always comfortable being alone, and I didn't want anyone in my space.
Wait, but if you don't mind me asking,
Sure,
how
sure.
old were you at this stage where you're like, I don't want the money to get to my head?
I was, like I said, grade 8, 9, so I was like 13, 14.
You were a very wise young man.
Thank you so much.
I would have said, bring all the money.
Yeah, so even with closing the YouTube channel, I knew that it could make, if I continued maybe from then till now, probably would have had like 10,000 subscribers, monetizing. But I was like, no, it's not about the money, it's about me and the vision I have for myself as this creator of music. And what was the vision? The vision is to become a DJ that plays his own music to the world while touring the world and changing lives of other people. That has been the vision, and I just stuck to that vision.
Oh, that's beautiful. You mentioned briefly how you explained to your mother that you're making international coins, and she showed worry, but she was still there for you and supporting you on this journey.
Yeah.
How was the support from your family? Because as we all know, in Namibia, music is not really something that parents want to hear. When I say I'm going to become a recording artist, or I'm going to become a DJ, it's not very welcomed.
100%.
How was how did your parents receive this, or your family?
Okay, so my trick was being self-sustainable. So the moment I stopped getting allowance from them, that's when they realized that, okay, this guy is actually making a lot of money, so he doesn't need us anymore. So I think that convinced them to actually realize that this thing that he's doing is probably not just a joke thing. So if he's actually making money to sustain himself, when I remember when I started actually making serious money to sustain myself was like towards the my end of my high school, where I don't even need like toiletry. I used to even buy electricity at home, and I used to buy food at home. This is a
serious bag for a teenager.
Yeah, for a teenager. So that's when they saw that, okay, cool. So if this guy can do this from here, let's allow him to do whatever he wants to do at university. Because I eventually left Otjoarongo for university. I came to Windhoek. It was like starting over again.
Your favorite.
But that's like I said, it started, that I think gives me, like, it fuels me, like the being the underdog in any situation where you are here and then the vision is to come here. I feel like that process just, it excites me so much. Came to Windhoek, started over again. Nobody knew me here. Everyone, and mind you, it's not like you go with your whole community. It's like you start
from
afresh.
Nara Smith.
We did that obviously with the help of my close friends. We started getting gigs again. We started releasing music, and then boom, after one faithful project that we did, we got called by, or invited rather, by Red Bull Music Studios in South Africa, just to go record music. So even things like that, I don't think we get those opportunities if we are not there, if we are not putting out the music, if we are not on the grind and constantly looking for places where we can play and people to collaborate with. Yeah, so once, I think, just to answer your question, once I think my parents saw that, okay, this guy is flying to Cape Town because of music, this guy's making money because of music, then maybe music is his thing.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So I think you are the embodiment of when they say if your dreams don't scare you, then you're not dreaming big enough.
No.
Because for you to always be willing to start over because there's, you know, something bigger in it for you, you see the vision and you just go for it. And I think that's very commendable. It's something that a lot of us can take notes from, because everybody is scared of starting over, but you choose to do it over and over again.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking more about your vision, you would like to go international. I mean, you already have, but you'd like to make it bigger internationally, particularly South Africa and Nigeria, where, you know, house music is popping as well. What steps have you taken to, you know, align yourself with that vision, and, you know, how's it going?
The steps, I think I've already laid the foundations a few years ago, dating back, I think, to like COVID 2020, when I used to host a live show called 5 Minute Finesse. So within that period, the show obviously gained popularity. The whole country was watching. Till this day, I go in shops, people stop me just to say, yo, you are the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, even right today, today when I came to this studio, someone did say, yo, do you know I was on this guy's live? And I was like, okay, cool. So yeah. So in that period, I also managed to get the attention of influential people in South Africa. Guys that were heads of record labels, guys that were promoters of big festivals and events. I got to play Rocking the Daisies, which is like South Africa's biggest festival, from 5 Minute Finesse. I got to play at Homecoming Africa from 5 Minute Finesse, which is like Pretoria's biggest festival. So just things like that. I got a record label deal for 2 years from Paradise Worldwide, which is a Berlin-based record label, from 5 Minute Finesse. So I already laid the foundations there, and then I think at the time during COVID, I was in my second year at UNAM, and then guess what I did? I dropped out.
Yeah.
I dropped out. I said, I'm starting over again.
Again? Again.
Again. I'm going to follow this thing actually even more. So I packed up my bags. I took the little money, and it's COVID. Mind you, there's no gigs, there's no nothing. I went in my savings. I applied to go to school at Cape Audio College. I paid for all my visa stuff. I showed up to the table in front of my parents and said, guys, I already paid for everything. I paid for my accommodation. I paid for my registration. I paid for everything. I'm going.
Sure.
And then they were like, hey man, we support you, I guess.
It is what it is.
Went to South Africa, started over again, and then, yeah.
Yo, this guy and starting over. This vision is clearly bigger than you.
100%.
Don't you, like, you know, when you think of dropping whatever it is you're doing and restarting, aren't there, you know, some fears that you have, and how do you navigate that?
That's like you said, you have to be scared. But do you know what I'm more scared of?
Not
is
trying.
going to sleep and say, you really didn't do that thing that you wanted to do. Or being 50 and saying, imagine you could have just moved to Cape Town, or you could have just did that thing, or you could have just, you know, that's what I'm more scared of than actually doing that thing that I need to do. And I know what I need to do. So if it's just because it looks scary, it doesn't scare me. What scares me the most is not doing it.
What could have been.
Yeah.
Tim, no regrets.
Yeah.
All right, so you've worked with or you've collaborated with several corporate brands. So what's your approach when interacting and working with corporates, and what would you give to, what word of advice would you give to other creatives that are thinking of going the corporate route? Because we all know sometimes when you're working with corporate, you can't really be 100% authentic because now you're dealing with somebody's brand, so you need to make sure that they look good. So what's your experience and what word of advice would you give to other creatives?
So with corporate, it's a good space to be in, right, as a creator, because obviously you will be making maybe 10x the money that you would be making on your own, right? And like you said, you are basically the temporary custodian within that time, and temporary custodian of someone else's brand, and you are a reflection of that brand wherever you go, right? So these are the things that you have to understand when working with brands. And I feel like there's not enough media training, there's not enough PR training that can teach you how to basically take care of yourself, because you never know. Some people, they can get tested in various ways, and then the young ones call it crashing out nowadays. And then you crash out not knowing that what you're doing in this moment is probably going to be detrimental to your relationships with brands, because brands like a clean brand, to like they'll only work with clean brands that are not controversial and stuff like that.
And they're unforgiving.
And they're unforgiving because they'll move on to the next guy, because you're not about to play with them like that, you know. So I feel like to work in that space, you just have to keep yourself grounded, keep yourself humble, always be trustworthy to these brands, because these brands have 1,000 of people that they can work with, and they chose you for whatever reason, you know. So if you get that opportunity, or if you are looking for that opportunity, it doesn't even start when you get it. It starts before you get all these.
The preparation.
Yeah, prepare yourself. Always be clean. Always be punctual, always speak well of others, even if it's not about you. Because sometimes I had a corporate brand that tested me once. They asked me about another person just to hear what I would say. And then obviously, because I'm not that type of guy to like speak ill of others, even if they did something wrong or if they did something controversial, simply say, hey, I'm not well informed. I cannot comment on that. So that person later on said, okay, we actually wanted to see what your answer was, and that answer made us realize that, okay, you are that type of character, and we want to work with guys that have that character. So it's little things like that I didn't even know I was being tested, but just because my principles, my values were strong with what I was doing, and when the time came to be tested, I think I passed. So it's just those little things. And then when you are inside, when you're in the door, just make sure you do the best work that you can. Obviously it can be difficult sometimes working with corporate brands, but always be patient, especially when waiting for your money, because they have procedures and protocols to follow. So sometimes it can be even 2 months after the job has been done. But always be respectful even when you're asking for money. And I know when I'm saying these things, sometimes the creator might be like, but I already did the thing.
Where's my money? Run me my rags.
You know, but sometimes it just doesn't work the way we want it to work. And that's basically the 2 cents I can give when dealing with corporates.
So all in all, don't go and post the corporates on social media and say these people are frauds.
There's other ways to do that. Don't burn bridges. Inquire if it's falling on deaf ears. There's legal routes that you can also take. Always also read your contracts. Always find help legally, because sometimes it may seem like the bag is nice, but what's being demanded of you is probably something that you can't do. So then you can't deliver, and then it's things where you are not being paid, and you feel like, you know, all those things. I've been in many different situations, and trust me, it can be very, 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 very like taxing when you're dealing with these type of things, especially when it's coming from a place of you didn't do due diligence from your side, you know.
All right, so I can't let you go without talking about this. You recently launched your own music distribution site. So tell us about that and what does it mean for Namibians and internationally as well?
So Guest Distro, it's called Guest Distro, right? I'll tell you a short story about that. So Guest Distro, at the time I was signed to the German label, right? It was a 2-year contract. It was meant to just be a distribution deal where they were helping me to distribute my music faster, because they had asked me, what do you distribute with now? And I was using some DIY distribution company. I won't even say their name. But my qualm or my thing with them is that I couldn't get my money out. I had to apparently file or go through US tax laws and stuff, which just made it totally difficult for me to even get the little coins that I was getting one day. So then they were like, okay, cool, then it means that if Dreas is having this problem, it means that many other artists are having this problem. So they were like, okay, cool, why don't we take you under our wing? Of course you're a signed artist, but why don't we like bring you inside, you know, and we give you the back end and see, so you can learn what it is, the music business, what the behind the scenes of the music business, you know. So the lady's name is Sarah Jane Nicholson. She's actually from South Africa, but she just lives in Berlin. So she literally took me in like I was her son. She showed me all the things that I needed to know, and that's what inspired me to one day also have a distribution company. I was like, okay, cool. If Sarah is doing this, she's just doing it on a bigger scale for Africa and Germany. But I want something like this for Namibia, you know? So that's where the inspiration came from, to start a company, but I didn't start it then yet. So while I was in my deal, or rather at the dying embers of my deal, she proposed a management deal to me. And she was like, okay, cool, from here I wanna manage you as an artist. And then just as she came in with her offer, Sony also came in with their offer. Shout out to the people at Sony. And then, so Sarah wanted to take, for example, I'm gonna use your example. So Dreas wanted to manage Esther and get Esther gigs, get Esther brand deals, and make Esther a global sensation. Then we'll just use a random name, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael comes in and says, yo, I'm not gonna manage you, but I'm gonna give you a platform, that will allow you to manage the means of distribution for other Esthers. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I was more enticed by that, because I was inspired by what Sarah was doing to have a distribution for other people. And when Sony was giving me that, I was like, okay, cool, I won't be selfish and I could have just went with Sarah and just did my thing and then became the DJ Dreas, because she's really pretty tapped in. I went the other route to say that, okay, no, let's do this for my country, because I know Namibia, we're struggling with distribution, we're struggling with publishing, we're struggling with the music business altogether. So yeah, then we put pen to paper, and that's how Guest Distro now became me. And I obviously asked advice from my friends, Vernon van Wyk being one of them, and he was also keen to join the project. So what we do is just basically give easier distribution channel for Namibian artists to distribute their music, while giving them also label services, quote unquote. So if we see that this artist deserves or needs a different type of push, whether it's playlisting on DSPs, whether it's a marketing rollout, whether it's videos, whether it's what, then we can offer those as optional services. But the main core business operation of Guest Distro is to make sure Esther's song is taken from the studio onto 200 stores worldwide for people to consume.
That's so beautiful, and I think the music industry thanks you. So I'm going to act as spokesperson for them now and say thank you for your contribution, for not being selfish, and for actually coming through and creating something that's bigger than yourself but will touch hundreds of creatives, maybe thousands of creatives in the land of the brave. Thank you so much, Dreas, for joining us on this episode.
Thank you so much.
So from electrifying local stages to playing at some of Africa's biggest stages and launching hit singles like Modern Village and creating opportunities for artists through his music distribution platform, his impact is obviously undeniable. Thank you so much for watching Real Spills. We'll see you again on the next one. My name is Esther Kamati.